Hey, how you doing? This is Mr. Monday, the Inspiration Architect, Marquese Martin-Hayes. Listen, guys, I want to bring you the proper perspective, to bring you the most life-giving information on every area of life that you might find health, fitness, and vibrancy, okay? Now, all of us know that there's this epidemic of the swine flu across America, North America for that matter, and recently, or a few hours ago, one of our schools in the Chicago area was closed as a result of it. I want to have answers. I want to have solutions. I want to introduce you to people who can help. So I brought along my health coach, Kristopher. Many of you remember him from the 21 Days to Peace and Fulfillment series. He's here, not to give you the update on the swine virus, but to give you the solutions that will bring life in spite of and bring healing to those of you who may have been inflicted by it. I know, parents, you want to protect your children, so listen closely. You need to listen closely. And I know that you also want to protect your parents. And so take heed to the information you're about to get. This is cut straight from the top. This is cutting edge technology. This is nothing thought up out of a box. This guy knows what he's talking about. Take heed, do your research. Don't just listen, but find out what if he's saying is true so you can make the difference in your life, okay? All right. Chris, if you would, thanks for being with us today, man. I know you've done your homework on the swine flu, and I know you've got some information that we can use, man, to protect ourselves and help our family. So if you would, pour it on us.
Keith. Hey, thank you, and it's good to be here. Hello, friends. Hey, guys. Wow, what is this? We got a new epidemic, swine flu, just like the AIDS or all the other flus that have been going back and forth. Well, first, guys, let me start off by saying the top 5 killers in the United States right now are heart disease, cancer, iatrogenic illness, stroke, and diabetes. All those diseases are diet related. They're related to the way that we eat. The swine flu is also diet related. Now, they call it swine flu, but now, based on the last research from the news, it said it really has nothing to do with pork, but when you think of swine, that was the first thing you think of. Ideally, I'm going to set forth some principles that you can do. The best cure is prevention. So the things that I set forth, I'm not really going to be, this is going to be sort of uncut. This information is not going to be politically correct. It's not going to be something that you normally hear across your dinner table. I'm just going to let it go, okay? And I want you to, the information that I'm going to present to you is basically on 4 factors. Number 1, my own personal experience. Number 2, the unbreakable laws of nature. Number 3, intensive research. And number 4, pure common sense. Okay, so if you can just keep an open mind, you'll get all the information, and you can draw your own conclusions. Now, with regard to swine flu, the prevention of it, and how do we deal with this? I mean, because there's such an uproar, especially down in Mexico, and even in Chicago. They've closed some sections of Chicago because of it. Well, the first thing you want to do is, let's go back to the basics. And what are the basics? Let's start with nutrition. Okay, the first thing that we want to do is start bombarding our body with greens, green food. Now, what do I mean by green food? I mean kale, I mean spinach, I mean romaine, red leaf lettuce, I mean collard greens, anything green, even celery. Now, when I say greens, I mean raw greens. I don't mean the stuff that you go out and buy some greens and cook them in a pot and kill all the good stuff. I'm talking about food that hasn't been adulterated. You know, I'm talking about raw greens that you can eat, that you either juice or that you either prepare. Now, most people are not familiar with eating greens raw, but you have to, because that's where we get all of our alkalinity. And right now, guys, we live in a society that is over acid and under mineralized, demineralized at a deep level. And the only way we're really going to get mineralized, remineralized, and the only reason we're going to get balance that alkalinity acid balance is to go green. You got to go green. Now, going green doesn't mean going out and buying a hybrid car. Going green doesn't mean, you know, doing some stuff with Al Gore on his little thing. Going green is just saturating your body with green leafy vegetation. Okay, that's what going green means. Okay, it means saturating your body with green leafy vegetation in its raw state. That's what it means. Green leafy vegetation in its raw state. Either through juicing or just eating the food, you know, well prepared, where not only it's tasty, but you're constantly bombarded. I don't mean an iceberg lettuce salad. I'm talking about greens every day. And get this, what I'm saying, guys. Now, you may say, well, Chris, we weren't born like that. I would have to change everything for me to start eating like that. Well, the beauty of that is that change is good, because think about it. Look at your past. your past hasn't been that fruitful. You've had to struggle and fight for the little success that you've gotten. You know, if you want to stay in that matrix where, you know, you fight, you struggle for the little success, you may make some more money, you may be able to go out and buy a Mercedes, or you may be able to do those little things, but do you really want real success? You want real change? Well, then you're going to start with eating, because the first principle to anything is you are what you eat. All the life principles filter through that. All the animals in the wild obey this principle. Human beings, we've gotten away from it. We've forgotten about it. And so that's why we're in the situation that we're into, okay? Now, let's go with number 2. The second principle is to cleanse. Guys, we're not, you know, you got to do a cleanse, either through fasting, either through colonics, either through master cleanses, either through juice fasting. But most of us, the inside of our bodies are just not clean at all. They're very unclean. I mean, we may be clean on the outside, but on the inside, it's graveyard territory. It's not garden territory. So doing cleanses. Now, I'm not going to go into the specifics of the cleanses or the fasts. You can do that research. Either, you know, read. They have many books at health food stores or even at Borders on how you can do a fast or how you can do any type of these master cleanses. But that's really a major step, because if you don't get in there, if you don't get inside your body, be it your intestines, your stomach, and your whole digestive, lymphatic, and circulatory tract, all your brain will make distorted messages. The biochemistry of the body, you'll be missing a lot of components. It's like if you go out and you buy a Rolls Royce, and imagine putting Kool-Aid or milk in the gas tank. What would happen? Over time, it's going to be a breakdown, and that's what happens when we put anything foreign into our body. So when we load our bodies with either cooked food or with stuff that it doesn't recognize, what happens? The white blood cells, they rush in mass to that spot because an intruder has invaded our body. Okay, but when we eat anything natural, uncooked, raw, fruit, veggie, nut, superfood, seed, sprout, legume, what happens? They never come. The white blood cells only come when anything foreign enters the body, okay? When anything foreign enters the body. So remember that. You must do the cleanses. Now, number 3. What's number 3? I'm going to say something that's going to, you guys are going to be like, I know the meat industry is not going to agree with me. You know, a lot of people who've been brought up eating meat, you probably won't, you would say, well, Chris, we're not giving up meat, okay? And you're not going to tell us to give up if I can give up pork and beef, but I'm not going to give up my chicken and fish. Guys, okay, I'll just say this. If you must eat meat, ideally you don't want to eat it more than once or twice a week, okay? Ideally, more than once or twice a week. Now, that goes for beef, pork, turkey, chicken, fowl, any type of fish. I don't care if it's salmon, because all animals are, because of the environment, because of what mankind has done to the environment, the animals suffer the most, because they have to now filter all that toxicity, and all animals are highly toxic, and there's a karma that comes with from eating animal protein. How do we know that? Well, look around. Look at your parents. How are they looking right now? Are they on any pharmaceutical medications? Are they totally vibrant and healthy? I don't care how much money they got, and I promise you they'd have much more money if they didn't violate the first principle, you are what you eat. How are your friends and everything? How many people do you know isn't taking some type of either pharmaceutical, hasn't lost their physical beauty and vibrancy, isn't on Viagra or some other type of, aphrodisiac pill or whatever? How many people? And it all comes down to eating, friends. So I'm not going to harp on this point, but if you're eating animal products, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you don't do that. And these are the information I'm sharing, guys, are just preventive ways, so you don't even have to worry about no swine flu. This way, your immune system is so strong, anything that comes upon you doesn't have a chance. All people who get these flus and all this goofy stuff, it's just because their immune system, your defense system, when the enemy comes, you're not defending yourself because you haven't built it up. And the best way to build it up is what I've talked about.